Okay. Thank you. I just started recording. That was great. Can you do it again? Can you do that again, Drew? For America and India? Okay. Anyway. Okay, so it's after lunch. People are still tired. Maybe, do you guys want to do jumping jacks before we start? And one. Okay. So welcome America and India and Taylor Swift. Today we are going to start solving trig equations. Next class we're going to do solving trig equations on interval, but today we are finding just general solutions. So I explained this in the video that you watched last night, but basically when we do, when you're trying to find, okay, if you're asked to find I lied. What's the square root of 9? The square root of 9 is 3. However, if you have x squared equals 9 and you take the square root of both sides, x, which is actually the absolute value of x, it ends up being a plus or minus 3. So this implies a restricted domain, okay? So what's the square root of 9? It's just 3, not plus or minus 3. So when you do inverse trig, that implies a restricted range, right? So if we're trying to find the inverse, I don't know, sine of 1/2 or whatever, you come over here and you restrict the range and you solve, because we want to make sure that it's a function, it only has one solution. Here we've got equations that are similar to this problem where we're not going to be restricting any domain. So we are going to have a plus minus sometimes. And I hope I picked a problem to do that. So we'll go ahead and start. So you would solve this just like you would in Algebra 1. We're solving for the sine of theta. So we subtract 3 from both sides. And we have 2 sine of theta equals -1. Divide by both sides by 2. And now we have the sine of theta isolated. So we have the sine of theta equals -1/2. Now, where does the sine of theta equal -1/2? Well, where is the sign negative? That's y. Which quadrants? Where's the sign or y negative? In which quadrants? 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 and 4, right? Down here. And we know that 1/2 sine of what angles will equal 1/2 or -1/2? Are those going to be the short angles, the tall angles, or are they going to be the middle angles?
The y?
Yeah, it's y, it's sine.
The short.
Okay, so we'll draw that in a different color. We're down here, short angles. So far, so good? Now, what are those angles on the unit circle? So they have a denominator of 6, because we know that they're the short angles. This is 6 pi over 6, right? 6 pi over 6, because that's equal to pi, which is the same as 6 in 6, 6 pi over 6. And this is one more, so that's 7 pi over 6. 7 pi over 6, and this one is almost all the way around, which is 12 pi over 6. So this is 11 pi over 6. You with me? 7 pi over 6, 11 pi over 6. So I think I'll just write this over here and then erase it. I'll do that. All right, so we got theta should equal 7 pi over 6, and theta should also equal 11 pi over 6. It's okay to have 2 solutions. Now, we are trying to find the general form of the equation, and we have an infinite number of solutions here. I'll start with this first one, 7 pi over 6. An infinite number of solutions, because if we went around 2 pi, we would get to another solution. And then we could go around 2 pi again and get another solution, and another solution, and another solution. So the way we show that is we say 7 pi over 6 plus 2 pi, k times. Remember the k from when we were trying to find the asymptotes and they repeated over and over again? Okay, this is the same thing. 7 pi over 6 plus 2 pi, k times. Because k could be 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5. And that's the same for 11 pi over 6. It gets a little bit trickier. I hope I picked a problem. I did the next one. We'll get to the next one. Any questions on this? This one has 2 solutions for theta. We good? All right, let's go to number 2. Can I erase?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2. Bless you. All right, let's start solving first. So we add 3 to both sides. And we have 4 cosine squared theta equals, is that a plus 3? Divide by 4, both sides. And we get cosine squared equals 3/4. Now we're gonna have to take the square root of both sides. When you take the square root of 3/4, you guys know what that is? I'll do that over here. The square root of 3/4, it's the same thing as if you did the square root of 3 over the square root of 4. Square root of 4 is what?
2.
2. This is gonna be root 3 over 2. Now when you do that, it's gonna end up being a plus or minus, as I was explaining at the very beginning of the video. So this is cosine of theta equals plus or minus root 3 over 2. And then we go to the unit circle. I'm gonna wait just a second to make sure anyone has questions on why that's a plus minus root 3 over 2. Now, where's the cosine of theta equal to plus or minus root 3 over 2? So we'll start with what kind of angles are they going to be? Are they going to be the short angles, tall angles? When x is, that's the long distance.
Sure.
Okay, so they're going to be the short angles, and it's plus or minus. So where are those going to be in the quadrants?
Quadrant 1 and quadrant 2.
So that's x is positive. That's x is negative. But look, there's more down here. X is negative, x is positive. There's actually 4.
Are you serious, really?
For realsies. Now, how are we going to represent that in solutions? Okay? You do not have to write 4 solutions.
Okay.
You only have to write 2. Because once I note this one, instead of saying plus 2 pi k to get all the way around to it, I'm going to say plus pi to get this one. Okay, so I can add pi, and then I can add pi again, and I'll get here. And then I can add pi again, and I'll go here. And I can add pi again, and I'll go here. So that one solution, first one I'm running out of room here. I'll write up here, theta equals pi over 6 plus, instead of 2 pi k, I'm just going to write pi k. And that will take care of the 7 pi over 6 as well. Now I do have to write this one here, which is 5 pi over 6. However, 5 pi over 6, orange, okay, is exactly pi away from 11 pi over 6. So I can add pi k times, and that will take care of both of those solutions. So theta equals, and that's 5, did I say 5 pi over 6? 5 pi over 6 plus pi k. So that's 4 solutions written in 2 solutions. How are we doing? I'm standing in front of the work, aren't I? All right, how long's my video? 8 minutes. We gotta stop.